Today, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I want to say hello to everybody who's watching on drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. So here's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna jump right into the conversation. I got family out here, and between that and marathon training, my time is somewhat limited. I'm actually trying to run the Chicago Marathon. It'll be my first marathon. So I need y'all to pray to me. I need y'all to pray for me. I need y'all to pray to white Jesus, black Jesus, and baby Jesus that I'm gonna make it through that shit, because it's it's making me a little bit nervous, but it's all good. I'm ready. I'm ready. We're gonna make it happen. And black health and health is wealth, and I'm going to be as healthy as I can possibly be so that I can be successful in my life. So anyway, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done that. Please hit the thumbs up button. I want to say what's up to everybody on Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins, so feel free to go to the gram and check us out over there. Also, those of you who want to get a text message when we go live, all you have to do is text the word Boyce to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996. What's up, Taya Watkins and DJ Darkside? What's going on, April Thomas, Denise Howard, etc. Shout out your city. Shout out the city that you're from as well. Let me know what city you're chiming in from. Shout out that city. I'll be in New Orleans next week, in Chicago a month after that, and then also Houston and Los Angeles. So those are the 4 cities I'll be in next week. So I'll let you guys know more about that in a second. All right. So here we go. So let's jump into the conversation, and then I see your cities, and I'm actually shout out your cities and just pay my respects and acknowledge you guys for taking the time to hear what I have to say on this. Shaquille O'Neal, my man, doing great things in the world. He's big balling, unlike anything he ever did on the court. And anybody who ever saw Shaq as a basketball player knows that he did big things on the court. This man was extraordinary. He was legendary. He was revolutionary. Zion Williamson was the #1 draft pick in this NBA draft. If he has a career that is 1/3 as successful as Shaq's, he will be a Hall of Famer. You know, if he does 1/3 of what Shaq has done, what Shaq did on the court, he'll be a Hall of Famer. Let's just say that. That's how amazing Shaq was as an athlete. Well, in addition to being amazing as an athlete, it turns out Shaq is an extraordinary businessman. Shaq is really, really, really going out of his way to change the blueprint. In case you guys don't know, athletes are famous not just for being great at sports, but black athletes are famous for going broke. Black people are just extraordinary at everything we do. When we on point, we're extraordinarily good. When we're off point, we're extraordinarily destructive. Like, can't nobody build like black people. Can't nobody destroy like black people, right? Seriously, like, out of the hood, out of the ashes of the hood came some of the greatest art forms in history, some of the greatest ideas and brains in history, some of the greatest athletes in history. But also out of our hood comes some of the most chaotic destruction in history, partly due to this whole slavery Jim Crow thing, that they acting like they're not sure if we deserve reparations. Well, come on, man. Like, seriously, we got 400 years worth of receipts on all the brain mind control you guys have done to us that have caused us to become as destructive as some of us can be. But Shaq is not in that category. Shaq is a guy, at least financially speaking, who is making all the right moves. He's doing all the right things. You guys know I'm a finance professor, and that's what I do. I taught finance to college students for 25 years, Syracuse University, the Ohio State University, Indiana University, etc. And I can tell you that, what you learn in a book is one thing, but what you do in real life is what matters the most. And Shaq, I don't know what Shaq's book training was. I don't know what business classes he's taken. I don't know if he's ever learned how to invest. But I can tell you he's doing a damn good job, and he's really making things happen. He's making it rain on his family. He's making Shaq's such a bad dude to me that he's literally making it rain on his great grandchildren. How many athletes can you say are making it rain on children that won't be born until the year 2150? That's what Shaq is doing. Shaq is laying out a landscape and a blueprint for power that will exist with his family for the next several hundred years. And I'm just so proud of him. I think it's awesome. So let me explain in detail why I'm very proud of him in particular. And as I do that, I want to ask you, please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done that. When you hit the thumbs up button, it helps us because more people come into the conversation. Also, please make sure you subscribe to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. If you're not black and intelligent, this is not the place for you. So you should probably leave if you're not black and intelligent. This conversation will be above your pay grade. But if you want to grow and you want to be smart, then this is the place to hang out. So I see Atlanta, Los Angeles, New York. Claudia says, how was your birthday? It was very nice. Thank you for asking. Springfield, Missouri, Bermuda, says LeVar. Okay. J Real, hey, doctor, what's going on? Fern from New York City, Claudius from Philly, Elizabeth from Atlanta, Louis from Maryland. I see Steve in Atlanta, Clarence, Philadelphia, James, Atlanta, Dawn, Dallas, Stacy, Malden. I see Magnolia, Mark from Magnolia, Arkansas. We got Houston in the house, Riverside, California, Charlotte, North Carolina, Dallas, Chicago, etc. Little Rock, banging in Little Rock. I remember that documentary had everybody scared to go visit Little Rock for a minute, right? It was like, what the hell? They got banging in Little Rock. Anyway, so I feel bad for Little Rock because it's funny. Like that's what their reputation became. Like there's a little tiny town nobody thinks much about, but we got all these gangsters and killers and. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. It's almost like Medellin. I go visit Medellin where my brother lives, Medellin, Colombia, and they're known mostly for Pablo Escobar. And they do not like that. They do not like being known for housing one of the most notorious terrorists in the history of the world. So I'm just playing with you a little rock. So let me explain. Let me jump back into the Shaq thing. So Shaq says he wants to buy Reebok. That's the big announcement that he made. He made it during an interview. Apparently, he was speaking. It looks like he was at an event hosted by CNBC. He's at the Reebok Classic Breakout Classic Rap Roundtable in Philadelphia University. Oh wait, sorry. That's what the picture was taken. Sorry about that. Let's see here. He basically. Oh, sorry. He's at a CNBC Make It event. That's who he was talking to at a Carnival Cruise event. So it was a Carnival Cruise event, and CNBC went to him and asked him, what are your plans? What are you trying to do? And he said, well, Authentic Brands Group, one of the companies I'm involved in, we just bought Sports Illustrated, but I would love to purchase Reebok. Shaq says at the Carnival Cruise event. Carnival Cruise they were in bad shape, buddy. So they're gonna need Shaq's help because they had all the people getting sick on the boats and everything. That's when they started hiring like all these black people at the highest levels, right? They got I think the black CEO of Carnival Cruise Lines. And y'all remember that when people were going on the Carnival Cruises and getting sick and coming back traumatized. Let me see here. Then after they went through all that, I could have swore they hired a black guy to run the company. You know how it's almost like basketball or football, how they'll let the black coach take over the team right when the team went like 0-12. Like the team is like the worst team they've ever had, and then that's when they give the black man a chance. So with Carnival Cruise Lines, apparently they were having disaster after disaster to the point where people were scared to take a Carnival cruise. And when that happened, I don't know if anybody else remember that? And when that happened, that's when they hired this black CEO. I assume he's doing a great job. Black people are smart. We're able to make $1 out of 15 cents. If anybody can survive in the middle of depravity and destruction, it's black people. But it is kind of funny, like, oh, now y'all want to hire the brother. Now that the team, had the worst season in 50 years, now you want to give the black coach a chance, and then when things don't go right, you're gonna blame it on. That's what they do with these sports teams. That's what they do with these companies. And in fact, actually, it's funny. The United States government. I mean, Barack Obama took over after one of the greatest financial crises in American history, right? So that's kind of what it is. So it looks like Shaq is involved with Carnival Cruise Lines. I'm suspecting that this is part of a Carnival Cruise strategy to appeal to black Americans who might, on average, fit in a lower economic category, right? A lot of people go to black people. I've noticed this with brands. Tell me if you've noticed this. They tend to go to black people either when they're trying to get something off the ground, or they're trying to pick something off that has fallen to the ground, right? One or the other. Either it's brand new and they're trying to get it moving, or it fell on its face and damn near died, and they're trying to repair something that's been destroyed. One of the two examples that come to mind, one is when Oprah started her network. Y'all remember when Oprah started the Oprah Winfrey Network? What was going on with the Oprah Winfrey Network when Oprah first started? Did it blast off to tremendous success? Was she just making money hand over fist? Was it incredibly profitable? Or did it fall on its face? Did it fall on its face? Y'all remember that? And what did Oprah do to get this fallen network off the ground? She got with Tyler Perry and they started making trashy shows for black people. No disrespect to Tyler, but you know your stuff's kind of trashy, man. I like Tyler, actually. I do. I met him. I told you I did a video about how nice he was, how great he was to talk to, and how much respect I have for him. But y'all know that some of that stuff is like some old Chitlin circuit type stuff. Y'all know what it is, for real. But give him respect, but y'all know what it is, right? And that's when the Oprah Winfrey Network started taking off, and then they got a little bit wider as time goes on. The CW Network, I think they did the same thing. And so with Carnival Cruise Lines, Carnival Cruise crashes and burns, and they're like, damn, who's gonna buy from us? Oh, black people, because we black people, black people are a little looser, we're a little freer with money as long as you give us a good deal. Like, hey, you give us some poison liquor, we'll drink it, just cut the price by 30%. That's kind of what it is, right? And then another example, and Shaq's involved in this too, Papa John's. What happened with Papa John's, who actually has very good pizza? The pizza's good. I mean, I know the owner was a little racist. Like, go ahead, please confess that you liked. I like the pizza. I'm going to just tell the truth. But Papa John's had that racial incident. Y'all remember that? And black people were mad. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and they took Papa John's name off the stadium because Papa John's was invented right near my hometown, and they had the Papa John's football stadium, and they took the name off of the stadium because of what the owner had said. Apparently, in a meeting, he used the N-word and blah 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 blah, and so then that's when they called in Shaq. They signed Shaq. They signed him. They signed Shaq because he's black, right? The specific people, black faces. Will get you into certain places. Like, they know this, right? So that opens doors of opportunity. Doesn't mean that Shaq is a bad guy for taking the deal. It's just, it is what it is, right? So this is kind of the business dynamic that's there, and this is what I kind of want you guys to see, because you guys know I'm a business teacher, and I don't really, honestly, at the end of the day, I love Shaq and people like that, but this ain't really for them. I don't have these conversations for those people. I have these conversations for you, so you'll understand how these dynamics work, and you'll see a little bit of what I'm seeing. That's why we discuss things in this way. By the way, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. Also, one other thing I encourage everybody to do is I want you to make your power moves in your own family. I want you to make sure you are an investor. Even, I don't care if you invest in $2 a week. I need you investing. Get in the stock market. You guys heard me talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin and crypto is taking off. Lots of money being made in crypto. If you're making money in crypto right now, raise your hand. But also the stock market has been doing really well for 20-something years. So if you want to learn how to invest and get started, I will teach you how to buy your first share of stock. It won't cost you a penny. Just go sign up at Black Money 100, Black Money 100, blackmoney100.com, and I will teach you how to buy your first share of stock. It will link you to a video that is a great training. It's been watched by about 1 million people, and everybody loves it. And you guys can go check it out and learn to buy your first share of stock. So go to blackmoney100.com and sign up. All you gotta do is sign up and spend 20 minutes, and you'll be an investor just like that. So a lot of y'all ask me, like, well, how do I buy stock? I want to do it. Well, now you have, it's free. Just go sign up. It's blackmoney100.com. All right, so hit the thumbs up button. So let me tell you a little bit more about Shaq and this thing with Reebok. What's interesting about this is that, the statement, like, I want to buy Reebok, is a pretty big statement. Reebok is not cheap. We might think that athletes that make, $30 million a year can easily, like, hit billionaire status or make multi-billion-dollar purchases, but that's just not true. Like, for example, I was talking to you guys about this not too long ago. Your boy that plays for the Warriors, what's his name? Draymond Green, said, I want to be a billionaire one day, which I believe he can do it. I'm not saying he can't, but Draymond Green makes about $30 million a year, right? Now, what I did was to help you understand, just how that's a pretty bold statement. What I did was I said, okay, so let's take that 30 million a year he makes, and let's divide it by 1,000. So instead of 30 million, you're talking about 30,000. Let's say he makes 30,000 a year. So a man who makes 30 million a year saying, I want to be a billionaire, is just like a person who makes 30,000 a year saying, I want to be a millionaire, right? Now, when a guy who makes 30 million a year says, I want to be a billionaire, you say, oh yeah, that makes sense. That sounds good. Of course you can do it, right? But if a guy who makes 30,000 a year says, I want to be a millionaire, you're like, oh, come on now. That's crazy. You talking crazy, man. You shut your mouth, boy. That ain't, you talking foolish now, right? Like, it sounds crazy. But the thing is, it's actually possible in both cases. What has to occur, though, is that in order for you to do that, you need a stronger investment vehicle to get you there, right? So Draymond Green can't become a billionaire by just saving his salary, or making modest investments that give him 10% a year. Draymond Green, in order to be a billionaire, is going to have some sort of mechanism that accelerates his investment vehicle. It's like if I'm on a bike and I say, oh, I'm on my 10 speed, I'm in New York, but I want to be in California by tomorrow, you're going to say, get the hell out of here. Like, that's insane. Like, you can't get to California tomorrow on a bike, right? So, but it's possible for me to get there. I would just need a faster vehicle. So you would say, now you need to ride your ass to the airport, get on a plane, and that plane will get you to California by tomorrow. So he's going to have to jump the fence. Draymond, and I think that's his plan. Draymond is in California. He's hanging with other guys like smart men, like Andre Iguodala, very smart tech investor. Andre is mad respect for Andre. So he's hearing these guys, Kevin Durant, Andre Iguodala, Steph Curry, talking about these investments they're making that are accelerating their earning potential, accelerating their investment vehicles. And Draymond's like, I'm going to get off of this bus and get on their bus, and I'm going to go hit that billionaire status, right? So the same thing these guys are doing, with these tech companies they're invested in and these other little deals they're making. You can do similar things. You just have to do it on a different scale, right? If you're making $30,000 a year, becoming a billionaire is going to be pretty damn hard. You're going to be pretty smart. You're going to have to pull you have to be a financial magician to make that happen. But millionaire status actually isn't out of the question. That does happen quite often. In fact, the creators of places like Papa John's and Domino's. I think the Papa John's founder was a regular guy who had a regular job making regular money, and he just accelerated his investment vehicle. So I think that one of the big questions you want to ask is, and I'm gonna dig back into the Shaq thing, but I had to make this point because y'all know me. I can't just talk about it just to be talking about it. I ain't gonna sit back here and just celebrate. Oh, it's so wonderful. Shaq is doing it. Hercules. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna sit back and just clap for what another black man is doing. I'm gonna be like, okay, how do we take that model and multiply that by 1 million and have 1 million black families doing something similar? So basically, the question you must ask yourself is, how do I accelerate my investment vehicle? How do I get out of the vehicle that I'm in and into a vehicle that's going to get me there to my destination faster? Shaq has made tremendous moves because Shaq, he modified and accelerated his investment vehicle. When he first got to the NBA, his vehicle was athletic ability. That's how he made his money. He got in there, he's dunking basketballs, tearing down the rim, he's doing these great things, and that's awesome, right? That's making him millions of dollars. But Shaq was smart. He thought further ahead down the line based on what I saw. I saw this when I was 24 years old. When Shaq got to the NBA, I was like, he's actually a little bit different from the rest of these guys. I think he's going to be all right. Shaq did not go out and blow all his money. He let his mother manage a big chunk of it. He still lived good. He still had nice stuff. It was, like anybody, but he kept a percentage. He did everything in moderation. And he was also making these moves. Like Michael Jordan started making moves before he was done playing ball. Was LeBron James is making moves before he's done playing ball. A lot of these guys, the smart ones, are making moves before they get done playing ball. So what's going to happen is, as they transition their investment vehicle, you're going to see a lot of these athletes that are learning from other athletes who are going to actually go from making 20-30 million a year as athletes to where one day you're going to hear about one of these suckers making 100 million a year. It's going to happen. You're going to get a couple of Oprah Winfrey's out of the NBA every decade or so. You're going to get a couple of guys where when they're 60 years old, they're going to be like, yeah, I used to play basketball. That was how I got my start. That was when I made my little money. Now that I'm making big money because now I have a portfolio that's worth $2 billion. Shaq's making that transition. And that's why you see Shaq having conversations about doing things he never could have done as an athlete, like, I want to buy Reebok. Like when he first says it, it sounds crazy. It's like, come on, man, you can't buy Reebok. Reebok was sold 20 years ago for $4 billion. I think Adidas bought it for $4 billion or $3.8 billion. He ain't got $3.8 billion. That was 20 years ago. That ain't the price of Reebok now. You're talking about 10, 12 billion now. Well, what did Shaq do? Shaq actually made a move, a very interesting move. I didn't know this. I was reading this in the article, and it looks like Shaq is associated with a company called Authentic Brands Group. He got with a group. He's playing Powernomics, y'all. That's what he's doing. Powernomics shows that economics is a team sport. It's a group. He got with a group called Authentic Brands Group. And what he did was Authentic Brands. Let me read this. In 2015, O'Neal sold Authentic Brands Group the rights to his future business endeavors like merchandising and endorsements for an undisclosed amount. Under the deal, O'Neal became a business partner in the private company, which has a portfolio that includes more than 50 customer brands, as well as celebrity licenses like those of Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, Muhammad Ali, and Michael motherfucking Jackson. So he owns rights, celebrity licenses to Elvis and Michael Jackson, as well as Marilyn Monroe and Muhammad Ali, among others. So that was a power move. That was a deliberate move by Shaq and his advisors to shift their investment vehicle. So now, instead of Shaq making $1 million moves, Shaq is going to end up making $1 billion moves, but he's making them as a group. And there's an understanding there. If you look around you and you see most people making $1 billion moves, they're not doing it individually. These are not individuals saying, oh, I'm going to pull out $30 billion to make this deal. There's an investment group. When NFL teams, NBA teams get bought, there's an investment group. Most things are done as a group. When I was talking to the 12-year-old in the house about buying stock in McDonald's, because she likes to go to McDonald's, I said, McDonald's is not owned by any one person. McDonald's is owned by an investment group. Thousands of people are shareholders in McDonald's. That's where McDonald's gets their capital. So in a way, it's like you might think that they're private companies, but really it's a public exercise. It's a public sort of thing where thousands of people, even millions of people, pool their money together and accomplish big things. So Black people have to start really processing this. You know, when you're thinking about what moves we're going to make it as a community, we have to start thinking about things that are done as a group. And that what that does is that accelerates the investment vehicle for everybody. Okay. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't done that, please hit the thumbs up button, the share button, and the subscribe button. Also, I want to remind you guys, I'll be in Chicago doing an investment seminar on July 28th. If you want to come out, you should fly out. Flying to Chicago is great. It's a great city. We're staying in a nice Black-owned hotel. You can go to drboycechicago.com. That's drboycechicago.com. And of course, in New Orleans, we're doing our 2-day event, which is going to be, you know, several experts together. We're working on business, helping you get your business off the ground, all that stuff. You can go to drboyceneworleans.com if you want to see that. That's drboyceneworleans.com. And if you can't go to either one, we do have our Tuesday night meetings, our investment conversations on Tuesday nights. With the masterclass. So if you want to check that out, go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. Thank you, Dual, for typing that in, and everybody else who's all the moderators. I appreciate you guys very much. So let me tell you about some of the assets that Shaq has that I think can play a part. And it also says something about his psyche. He's a big believer in franchises. I think franchising is a great way to make money. Let me tell you about some of the franchises Shaq either owns or has owned in the past. Let's see, according to CNBC, he once owned 155 Five Guys restaurants, which was 10% of all the Five Guys out there. Five Guys has really good food. He sold his stake, but he did admit that the burger business was very good for him. His other purchases include 17 Auntie Annie's, those little pretzel places. That's good too. One Krispy Kreme franchise in Atlanta, and even a Cityplex 12 movie theater in Newark, New Jersey. He also owns a big chicken restaurant in Las Vegas, not to mention Shaquille's Burger Place in Los Angeles that bears his name. Most recently, Shaq joined the board of directors at Papa John's. He'll invest in 9 stores near Atlanta, as well as get paid $8.25 million for a 3-year endorsement deal to become the pizza chain's brand ambassador. And they need a black face, because they've been accused of racism, and that's kind of what you do. I mean, but y'all can make your own decision if you want to buy from Papa John's. Personally, I would like to get to the point where we've got more Black-owned pizza franchises we can support. I'm not saying Papa John's is bad or good. I'm not dissing you one way or the other. What I am saying, though, is that we need more Black-owned everything. And so I think that these guys that are making these $1 million moves, I think they need to sit together with their advisors and figure out, okay, how do we actually own some of this stuff? Instead of being the endorsers of something that someone else runs, how do we develop the infrastructure to actually own and run these things on our own? That's what I think Black people need to consider and start doing. So let's see here. So one of the things that they mentioned here, let me see, I saw something else here. Shaq says he remembers the day back when he was a spokesperson for Reebok. Reebok was thriving and it was neck and neck with Nike. Now he says with more competition from brands like Adidas and Under Armour, the shoemaker is struggling to find its way. He thinks he can fix it. He may just be talking. Reebok, I'll tell you what, Reebok was bought 14 years ago. I said 20 years ago. I meant to say 14 years ago. The exact value back then, or the amount that it was purchased for back then by Adidas was $3.8 billion. So I'm going to estimate that it will be worth more than that. But then at the same time, the Reebok brand is kind of sank. A lot of people don't really wear Reeboks anymore. But who knows? Maybe Shaq can help fix that. Reeboks are making a comeback with millennials. Let me see here. So let me tell you about some other things Shaq has going on, which I think is really interesting. When he's not selling other brands, he's pushing his own branded products, including Shaq suits, Shaq sneakers, a Shaq jewelry line, and even his own children's books called Little Shaq. Shaq follows a strict investment philosophy. He only gets involved if he personally likes the company or the product. One of his favorite examples is Ring, a doorbell camera home security system, which he loved so much in 2016. He tracked down the inventor, bought part of the business, and starred in several commercials for them. Later, Shaq got a piece of the pie when Amazon purchased Ring for over $1 billion. Let's see here. Despite his sprawling empire of franchises and other investments, Shaq hasn't stopped building up from his personal brand either. Indeed, you've probably seen him on TV pitching everything from Gold Bond and Icy Hot to Oreos and donuts. Some of his most recognizable commercials include Carnival Cruise Lines and General Auto Insurance. So he's kind of done it all. And if you remember, one other interesting thing about Shaq is I don't know if you guys remember remember when he used to rap? Anybody remember when Shaq came into the NBA and one of the first things he did was he made a rap album? And I actually bought it. I thought it was actually pretty. He's actually a good rapper. He did a song with Biggie. Anybody, if you were a real hip hop fan, you remember you can't stand the rain. Remember that song? It's a really good song. Like it was a really nice song. But I'm glad he stopped rapping because he didn't need to keep rapping. But that particular song was good. I don't know if Biggie kind of carried him on it or not, but it was really good. But Shaq has always been industrious. He's always been forward thinking. He's always been a little bit smarter than the rest of the pack. And so do I think that he can buy Reebok? You goddamn right. I do believe he can buy Reebok. Do I think he's going to do it? I don't know. He may just be saying it to just, say things interesting. But I think that this partnership with this group that he's involved with, this investment group, what it's going to do is it's going to just allow him to sort of swoop up and make bigger moves that he can make on his own. And a lot of these guys are doing that, with LeBron and Jay-Z and everybody else, what was it, Nas and all these. What they're doing is they're forming these partnerships, which I think is a great idea. And it is creating massive amounts of wealth because they're kind of getting in on the foundational investments in these startups. And I think also the same thing's true in your own families, in your own communities. You've got little startups in your family that they may not grow from, being worth 10 million to $1 billion, but you probably have ideas and possible businesses right around you that could grow from 10,000 to $1 million. I've seen that happen 1 million times over. You've got, the Black community has some of the best hidden secrets, the best kept secrets ever, because we've got the most talented people in the world. We got the hardest working people in the world, the most creative people in the world, but we've got also the fewest business minded people in the world, though. We don't have fertile economic soil. So when people come up with these great business ideas, they don't always get the support from their family. So what you want to do at the very least is start building yourself mentally so you can become a good relative for that relative who wants to get their business off the ground. Or you want to be a good partner, a good customer, a good support system. Say something encouraging, even if you don't think it's going to work. Encourage them to try, encourage them to work hard. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. Every entrepreneur fails. Everybody that starts businesses, they fail miserably. Every investor has bad investments, but you got to encourage them to jump out here and fail so that they can find their way to success. Failure is the water you swim through to get to the island of success. And on that island, there ain't that many people on the island because most people can't swim, but you got to jump in the damn water if you want to get to the island of success. So jump in the water of failure and learn how to swim. Encourage your children to swim, and don't internalize failure to mean that you weren't meant to do it. Internalize failure to mean that you ain't ready yet, that you got growing to do. You got to get better. You got to try again. You got to pivot. You got to try harder. You can't never give up. Do y'all know know that Twitter was founded off a failed company? Did y'all know that? That the company that was originally created, was the tweets weren't even part of their thinking process. They were bare. The tweets were an afterthought. The tweets were an add-on. That was an extra bonus they added on to the original software. The original software failed miserably, but they went back and they figured out what was going wrong, why they were failing, and they said, wait a minute, everybody hates all of this, but they seem to like these stupid little tweets. Who the hell would want these dumb little tweets with 90 characters? But who the hell knows? Let's give them more tweets. So instead of doing all the stuff they were doing before, they basically centered the whole company around the tweets. And now you have a business that is worth tens of billions of dollars. A business that literally is so powerful that they can bring down entire governments. Entire governments have been taken down because of something that somebody tweeted. The president of the United States uses your platform to issue government policy, as weird as it is. Right. So that's my point. My point at the end of the day is that, you know, if you want to be successful, you just can't give up, man. Y'all give up too quick because you're too scared. You're too scared to try. And then when you do try, you got relatives around you saying, I saw you fail, you dumb nigga. You shouldn't have tried it anyway. Come work with me at the post office. Well, damn it. Why are you committed to working at the post office when you could be out here achieving big dreams and big goals and going for it? I'd rather be a person who goes for something big and fails than to be a person who sits there with some mediocre shit because that's the best you think you can do. You are the greatest people in this world. You got to go out here and be great, though. Great people can't be great if they do not try. So you got to go out here and try. That's my little 2 cents for today. I don't have nothing else to say on that. I want to say congratulations to Shaq on making big boss moves. I hope he succeeds, and I hope that the other athletes are paying attention because it looks like he's doing some things right. So I'm getting out of here. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the share button and the subscribe button. And also, if you want to learn to buy your first share of stock, just all you gotta do is go to blackmoney100.com and sign up. It's totally free. Black Money 100. There will be a free training you'll automatically be directed to that will show you how to buy your first share of stock. One quick rundown. Next week I'll be in New Orleans, drboyceneworleans.com. It ain't cheap. The seminar is not cheap, but it's a 2-day event and it's lots of people, so it's kind of a big deal. So, and we don't have a space for a lot of people. So, but drboyceneworleans.com, drboycechicago.com. That's in July. That's the investment seminar we're going to do. drboycelosangeles.com will be LA. That's the Harvest Festival Day, Dr. Claude Anderson. And then, of course, allblacknationalconvention.com. The All Black National Convention takes place at the end of September 27th in Houston. It's awesome. You'll love it. Everybody loves it. It happens every year. It's going to be on. So I'm out of here, guys. Take care. Have a good day. And thank you guys for listening to me. I appreciate you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye. Peace.